Sound speeds. And you may say, why are you making an entire video about this? Why not just write a quick message? It's because it's a very important message and deserves to have its own episode. Now, as of the time of this video, it is in fall of 2024. And in 2023, the film industry went through something that was very, very bad for many people who were hoping to be able to work. And that is the Writers Guild of America decided to go on strike. When that happened, the entire industry shut down because a show can't work without a writer. Then after that, the actors, the SAG-AFTRA got involved as well. And they went on strike as well. And that also went and did a number on the industry because you cannot do a show without actors. When they came back, the industry was very slow to get going again because IATSE and the Teamsters were saying, now our negotiations are coming up next and we're going to hit the producers hard as well. But the thing is, in America, you need to have writers and you need to have actors, just like if you take a show to any country. But American crew and Teamsters are married to America. So when you take a project to another country, you don't need to necessarily have IATSE crew or Teamsters there. It could be whatever the country happens to have with regards to crew. And so that's going to be some discounts there that the production is going to be able to partake of. Because of this, there may be a desire for producers that bring shows to America to try to undercut what the market actually has established for rates. In the sound department, we don't normally work for scale unless scale is extremely good for some reason, but other crafts do. So this is why it's a very important message that I really need to convey to you verbally, as opposed to something that I just say, well, forget about this and just go with your flow. Look, I know we all want to get back to work, but if a producer comes at you and offers you something very, very below scale, don't take it. If you know it is below market rate, don't take it. I know you want to get back to work. Believe me, I do too. But it is very important that you do not do this. Why? Because as soon as you accept a non-standard rate, you are establishing a precedent that people in that market will accept that rate. And as soon as all the shows come back, everyone is going to be, that brings a show, is going to start wanting to undercut everybody else. Well, the last person actually did it for that, so that's what this show is going to pay for season 2, season 3, season 4, whatever. So or another movie. It goes both ways. But it is very important that you not allow that to happen. If you know what the market rates are in your area, stick to them. As a matter of fact, you should be going up 3% on your rate that's over scale every single year, if not more, because in the sound department, we normally go up every year by 3%, and they expect you to actually get a raise of 3%. And if you add that to your typical rate, then you might as well, because you should be able to command that. Just like anybody else, you should be able to command a raise every single year. But if you are not familiar with what the market rates in your area are, reach out to some audio people that are, and you tell them you do not want to undercut the market. You want to know what the market rates are, so that way you know how in that market you can price yourself. You're not trying to go outstandingly big or over the top over everybody else, nor are you wanting to undercut. You want to be on par with everybody else. That way the market is known for having certain rates, and that way it is what producers who come to that market expect to pay. Because as soon as one person accepts a rate that's under market, then everybody after them is going to hear about it. And everyone after them is going to know that you can get someone in that market to accept that rate. If you work for, let's say, Warner Brothers, and someone accepts a lower rate, Warner Brothers is going to put in their computer system, this is the rate that we paid last time. Anybody that's going to that market to get a show going could end up looking at that list and saying, that's what I'm going to want to pay as well. They may negotiate up a little bit more, but they're not going to want to. Some shows, like Warner Brothers shows, will, depending on the budget of the show, they might fluctuate within a few cents, but not like drastically a couple of dollars here or there, especially if it's a TV show. But this is the message I wanted to deliver in an actual episode. Know your value, because sound gear isn't getting any easier. It's not getting any simpler. We're doing more channels of wireless, more multi-track recordings. We're doing more things on set, and they're adding more cameras. Let's not pretend that the sound department is the most expensive department that they have on set. And yet, we are the only people on set that have our specific job titles: sound mixer, boom operator, sound utility. Because of that, we're the only person on set that can do our particular job. Now, that's not going to command a director of photography rate, but what they can do is assure that as long as you are skilled, as long as you are taking the craft seriously, even if you're novice, you're still in that market. If you're going for the shows, the same shows that the more experienced union people are, you need to be on par with their rates. Don't undercut them just for the sake of getting the work. That is a very bad thing to do. And once you're experienced, you're not going to want that to happen to you, because you will have worked really hard to get your rate to where it is. So this may sound like something that you don't need a lecture. If you are the person that is kind of like offended by this, or like, no, I'm not going to take this advice, you're the one that needs to listen to it, because you're probably going to undercut the market. I know a guy who undercut the market because he wanted to secretly get this show he was offered, so he didn't say anything. And he wanted to get the show really, really bad. And when he got it, he didn't realize it. He undercut the market like crazy. And when he came to me asking a couple of questions, and I was like, how in the world did you get that show? And we started talking. And then I said, well, hopefully you got more than than the previous guy last season. He said, oh, I don't think so, because they came back and said they didn't have the budget. I'm like, and you fell for it. So anyway, that's my point right now. Hopefully this message has gotten through to you, and you are one of these people that's going to say, yes, I totally agree. Know the value of yourself in that market doing your craft. If you fill in for someone in day play, it doesn't matter if that person's $6.95. If you are another union and you join and you fill in for someone who's $6.95, even if you're not $6.95, you are doing their job. Their job is budgeted on the show, so you get that rate too. Just tell them, I'm doing their job. I'll get their rate. Thank you. And that's it. Plain and simple. Don't undercut them. Don't say, well, yeah, $6.95 rates are about $20 or $15 or $10 or however much higher than your rates. And so, yeah, I'll take my normal rate. Don't do that. If you're taking their job for a day or two or a week or whatever, you get their rate, plain and simple. So hopefully this is some knowledge that you don't necessarily need, but it's good to hear. Or if you know somebody that has been accepting undervalued rates, undercut rates, then you might want to make some of these points to them. Or if nothing else, send it to this video. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Sound Speeds. Be sure to tune in the future for more lectures, sound things in general, and as always, sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.